Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Gift of Health Total Tuesday Wellness. And I just want to make sure that you are able to see us, hear us. So, okay, great. So, we are live. That's amazing. So, okay, there we are. Excellent. Okay. So, welcome everyone. And today, we are really excited because we have a special guest for our wellness chat. So, today we have Jennifer Diamond with us. She is a certified plant based health coach. She helps others transform not only their plates, but their lives. And Jennifer's journey to vibrant health and renewed quality of life began with her own personal struggle to overcome a variety of chronic health challenges. So she embraced a whole food, plant based, gluten free lifestyle, and by eliminating added salt, oil, sugar, flour, and alcohol, she experienced firsthand the remarkable healing power of wholesome organic foods. And this personal transformation actually ignited a deep passion within her to help others break free from the cycle of eating foods chosen out of habit, tradition, or marketing influence, and instead discover the benefits of truly nourishing, healing foods that support lifelong wellness. And today, she shares this life changing approach through her coaching practice, offering personalized one on one sessions tailored to each client's unique health goals, whether that's managing chronic conditions, achieving sustainable weight loss, or simply enhancing overall well being. If you want your health changes to truly stick, not just for a week or a month, but for life, this is the session for you. Make sure you also invite your friends and family members for this life changing session. And today, we are going to discuss knowing your why, why your why matters more than anything else. And I'm so excited to have Jennifer with me, and it's a huge pleasure and honor for me to have her with us. So welcome, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you so much. Dr. Shobha, what a beautiful description and introduction. And hello, beautiful people. I just want to thank you so much for allowing me to come back and share something that I believe is very vital in success when you're living a whole food plant-based lifestyle. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
And when we did this session last time, Jennifer, I really loved your dancing jive, while you were doing the smoothie. I mean, our people loved it. Yes, that's the way to make the smoothie. So that was a wonderful session that you shared when we were having the vegan health bundle. If you guys missed that session, Jennifer did a wonderful session on how to eat outside, how to be plant-based even while you're outside. So if you haven't watched that, we highly recommend watching that session as well. And today, as I said, we are going to have an exciting session. So before we get started with that, so Jennifer, I am curious. So you did mention that you were able to overcome your personal challenges and live a vibrant, healthy life. So kudos to you. I mean, that's amazing to hear. We are just curious, what are the challenges or health issues you were facing before?
Yeah. Thank you so much. There were a lot of them. And looking back, of course, I really think that it started when I was a child. I had a lot of problems with inflammation, allergies from a very young age, and also stress because the environment my parents created was very tumultuous, and they were divorced, and it wasn't very nice. So between stress and allergies, I had food allergies and environmental allergies. Starting at age 5, I started allergy shots, and that was supposed to help me manage those allergies. And I had allergy shots on and off for 40 years, 40 years. That's a lot of years. And so what I learned is that inflammation was occurring in my body, but I didn't know it at the time. And so through most of my life, until I figured out this way, I dealt with a lot of growths, tumors, cysts. I had all kinds of surgeries. I had an ovarian tumor cyst, a breast cyst on my hands. I had very severe chronic an acne that was a hormonal acne, and chronic problems in the sinus cavity. I had 3 sinus surgeries, and then I had been diagnosed with chronic fungal sinusitis, which is it's actually a bacteria we can't see that we breathe, and I was allergic to it. And it just continued on from there. I developed thyroid issues, Hashimoto's. I have hypothyroidism, and it just went on and on and on. No matter what I tried, no matter what the medical profession offered me in Western medicine, I couldn't seem to ever get off medications and so forth. And eventually, I did have problems with anemia. I was vaccine injured, and my story is not linear. So I did learn about veganism and about whole food, but then I had the problems with anemia, and so I kind of was up and down. And eventually, finally, when I tried to lower my cholesterol, because I had a blood test coming up 3 weeks from that time, I thought to myself, you know what? I know how to lower my cholesterol. I'm going to eat the plants the way that Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease book by Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn Jr. shares, and he's a cardiologist, and I did. And that was it's a very long story, but that was after I had been bedridden for 14 months. With small fiber neuropathy and all kinds of things that happened to me after the vaccine. But what was amazing was when I started to eat the foods, these kinds of foods, these fresh, beautiful foods that are real foods, not packaged or anything like that, the inflammation went down and my cholesterol went down 50 points. And I could move my body, and I knew I was on the right track. And so I just try to share what I could do, and I did get my life back. And so here we are.
Wow, that's an amazing journey. I mean, I'm sorry to hear like you had to go through all these conditions, and it's amazing like how our body is designed to heal. Like just as like all those beautiful foods in front of you. I mean, they they look so good, vibrant, live. So and when we nourish our body with these foods, it's so amazing to see like how we are how our body is designed to heal. So with us today, like we see, so hi Rebecca, hi Karen, hi Jill, hi Lisa and Jill. So good to see you guys.
Hi,
So
everybody. Yes, hello, everybody. So glad to have you all here. And you're right. These foods are amazing. And this is I only have so much to show in the camera, but there are so many more, right? Grains and beans and lentils and all kinds of stuff.
yes, yes. So Marilyn is saying hi Jennifer
Hello.
and Todd. Yeah.
Hello, Marilyn. Oh, yeah. Todd actually is not here today with us, but I will make sure he gets the message.
Yes, and we have so hi Sue. So it's good to see people trickling in and joining us. So I know like life was not so easy with like so many challenges. Oh my God, cyst, allergies, and like bedridden for 14 months. Oh my God, that sounds so scary. So yes, I mean, like you said, like when you were able to adopt this whole food plant-based way of eating, then you were able to get your life back. So was that easy? Like, was that journey easy for you? Or what motivated you to get on that path?
Yeah, so I've always been interested in health. even, as a young person. And I've always tried to eat the way I thought was the healthiest, even though now I know those ways weren't actually helping me. But when I got to a point where, I mean, I didn't even mention I had a brain tumor, pituitary adenoma surgery removed. I mean, there was a lot of stuff, I got to fit in a short amount of time. But when I continue to one after the other, have these kind of chronic conditions and surgeries, and I just continue to think, okay, there's got to be a way that I can help my body. And so I started to learn about food. Once I realized, well, actually, at first I had trouble because I didn't understand the food combinations, how you replace it. I didn't understand the difference between whole food and vegan food, so there was a lot of learning that went into it first. But eventually, when I realized, oh my gosh, the food is bringing the inflammation down, which is allowing my body to actually heal instead of drowning in, all the work that our body does to allow us to be strong and grow. That was motivation enough for me. When I didn't have I had sensations where I could feel a buzzing and tingling and throbbing that never stopped. It didn't stop because I laid down or went to bed. It was non-stop. And when I started doing this, and I realized this is something, I don't know why, I don't know what, something is working, that was motivation for me. Now, a lot of people, they don't feel it. Like my husband, at one point, he had high blood pressure. He was on blood pressure medication, which he's not anymore. But he said, I don't feel anything. The doctor is so worried, because it was really high. And so that's something that, some people deal with. And so that's why I think it's important to check, monitor, like I like to monitor my blood and check things, because sometimes we can't feel anything. When I had my pituitary adenoma, which was growing, a tumor inside the pituitary the size of a pea, I didn't feel anything. It was accidentally found. And so it's really important, I think, to understand that you might not always know what's going on inside. But for me, I felt it, and I could see things changing so quickly, that I knew I don't have to understand it. I just need to stay on this path and see if it will go away all the way. And so I continued on.
Amazing, amazing. So that brings us to the question, what was your why of transitioning to whole food plant-based eating? So certainly, like, we can see that the pain or the things that you were suffering, you wanted to avoid, like all the health issues that you were facing. So what was your why of changing to whole food plant-based eating?
Yeah, and so that's a great question. And it's for me, it was a little bit complicated, just because I needed to understand what that meant and how to figure that out. And so I did create a presentation that I can
Mhm.
share and kind of walk you through my understanding, share how you could do it, and also how I did it. Um, in, and it is such an important piece,
Yes.
because it allows us to really hone in on, why am I even doing this, right?
Yeah.
And also, right? And so, because it's not what everybody else is doing. My neighbors aren't doing it. My
Yeah.
family members, I mean, everybody does things in their own way. And so, how can I be successful? I need to understand why I'm even doing this.
Yes, that's amazing. So we would love for you to go ahead and share the presentation. So
Okay, so
yeah.
I'm going to share my screen. Let
Mhm.
me see here. I'm going to share. Give me 1 second,
Sure.
and let's see if I could. Okay, do you
Yeah.
see it?
Yes. So we are able to see your presentation. So you can, yes. So yes, Jennifer, like, you can go ahead and we are able to see your presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. So today we're going to talk about knowing your why, what it is, and why it's so important, how to discover it, and how to use it. Okay. Now, why do people choose to adopt a whole food, plant-based lifestyle? Well, most people do it for reasons like because their doctor told them that they had a condition or gave them a diagnosis that was unable to be healed with modern medicine or has to be treated with medications and therapies and treatments, or because they're trying to avoid getting a disease or an illness. They may even be doing it for ethical or environmental reasons. They may do it to support a partner or a friend or a family member. I mean, there are a bunch of reasons why someone might decide to live this way. And let's be honest, it's easier to start than it is to continue, especially when we're faced with social pressures and time crunches, work or family related issues, and stress, and other things that might make it seem easier to go a different direction than it is to stay on course. Now, that's where understanding your personal why, or as I like to call it, your emotional connection comes in, and it's crucial to helping you stay committed on your journey. Oops. Okay. Um, so there we go. What is the why? What is the why? Your why is the emotional connection or your reason for your whole food plant-based journey choice. It's deeply personal. It's the real reason that fuels your choices, that guides your actions and keeps you steady, especially when things get tough. And they are bound to get tough at some time during your life journey. Now, you can see that this person is crying. Now, I've heard people say, find the why that makes you cry. I mean, it's a cute little sentence there. It rhymes, find the why that makes you cry. Okay, I'm like, I didn't understand that for a long time. I was questioning that. What does that even mean? I thought I already knew why I was doing this. I don't understand that my reason was actually much deeper and far more profound than what I had originally believed. What does it not mean? So, what it does not mean is that your why is sometimes like, I want to lose 10 pounds by Friday, or I want to fit in this dress for a wedding. Those are great goals, right? But that's not what they are. It's not your why. Those are the goals. It's also not, I want to eat better. That's just something that you want to do. And it's too broad. So it's not specific enough. And it's not, I want to eat plant-based because it's better for the environment. And that is a lovely belief, but it's just not deep enough. So your actual why or emotional connection is much deeper than that. And it's really, really emotionally personal to you. It's the reason at the very core of your being that motivates you and gives you strength to overcome challenges and obstacles, because your why is more powerful than any distractions or situations that might come up along the way. It's the driving force that can help you when you may be tempted to deviate from your path. Now, I believe it's like the suit of armor or your shield or an anchor that keeps you on track when others try to influence you towards something that's different. Um, it is where I draw strength because I've done the work to figure out my emotional connection or my why to this way of living. And knowing and understanding that gives me confidence when I otherwise might fold under pressure. So whether your journey started because of an illness or a medical diagnosis, a concern for ethical reasons for animals, a love for the planet and our environment, maybe out of concern for the next generations, right? Grandchildren and so on, or a desire to live more intentionally, your deep innermost emotional connection or why is what gives your lifestyle real lasting meaning and the power and the strength to achieve it. So whatever your reason is, it's valid and it is yours. Why is knowing your why important? Well, hopefully you're starting to understand the importance of motivation. Now, let's talk about why getting really clear on figuring out your emotional connection or your why is such a powerful tool for success. So you can see right
Yes.
there, we've got the Post-it notes, and one is sticking out, right?
Mhm.
This is something about the why. It gives you clarity. Your why helps separate your path from someone else's path. It's a vague goal like, I want to eat better. That's not going to carry you very far. But a clear reason like, I want to live a full, healthy, vibrant life free from aches and pains and medications and therapies so that I can play with my grandkids, lift maybe my own luggage when traveling, or whatever you think would be your reason. This gives you a direction because it's specific. And most importantly, it's about you. It's your emotional connection. And your emotional connection needs to be about you and not about others. Okay. It also helps you stay focused, right? Because not every day is going to be easy. You'll hit bumps in the road. And when that happens, your why will be what keeps you on track and moving forward. Now, the it also it builds resistance. Okay, what is resistance? Well, let's just take a second. Resistance is the ability to bounce back from a difficult situation. And you can see the rubber bands here. It's kind of like a rubber band that stretches, right? And then it returns to its original shape. Or maybe a plant that bends in the wind, but it doesn't break. So it means recovering from hardships, adapting to change, and maintaining a positive outlook despite your challenges. Food, I believe, is emotional. It's cultural. It's social, right? And so once you start making changes, you might face questions from family members or friends, resistance, or even criticism from others, work neighbors, whatever. And that's where your why becomes a powerful tool because it gives you the confidence in your purpose and clarity in your direction to keep going. It clarifies your purpose. So that means shedding light on something previously that was unclear and establishing boundaries or meaning. So the more you return or reflect on your why, the more deeply it becomes part of your conscious you, not buried inside the subconscious you. This can be done in so many ways, such as painting a picture or drawing if you're good at that, and put it out there, or creating an internal mantra if you do meditation, or something that you might say out loud in the mirror at yourself, or even while you're on a walk. It becomes your compass. It provides direction. It makes the path clearer and it helps you navigate or find your why. So it helps you stay connected to the bigger picture of why you started down this path in the very first place. How do you find your why? This is where you need to be open to exploring stuff about your inner self that you may not have ever explored before. It's about being curious and vulnerable and allowing yourself to let go in ways that you may feel uncomfortable with, especially if this is a new discovery. So I want you to take a serious, honest look inward. You might learn new things about yourself in the process. You may realize that you need to let your guard down and to be very open with yourself. And it's a process. It might take you an hour, it could take you a couple of days or a week, it could even take a month or longer. It's going to be different for everyone, but the process is pretty simple. Okay, so think of the process like climbing up a ladder or staircase. To climb a ladder, you need to take each step one at a time. You don't climb a ladder by trying to reach for the highest step first. You're just going to take one step at a time. The goal is to be present in each of those steps on your ladder and really understand what each step represents before moving to the next step. Now, why is this important to me? Well, why did you decide to do whatever it is you're doing, right? Is it eating healthier, exercising more, meditating, whatever it is that you're looking for a why for? Write it down on the bottom first step, or in this drawing, you can use the lines next to the appropriate steps. So, whatever that first step answer is, the very next thing you're going to do is ask yourself, why is that answer important to me? Okay, then you're going to want to write down your second answer on the step above the bottom one, the second row. And then looking at that second response that you just wrote, then I want you to ask yourself again, why is this second answer, this second new answer important to me? And really take time. And then when you finally get that, write that answer down on the third step. And then ask yourself again, why is this third new answer important to me? And you're going to continue doing this, so on, until you reach the answer that strikes at your core, your deepest core. Because each time you answer, each time you question yourself, you have an opportunity to really dig deep into your true self and then push it a step further. The questions leading to your emotional connection are very important to seeing and understanding the path to your personal answer. So once you have realized what your emotional connection is and you understand on a deeper, very deeply personal level why you're on the path that you're on, you can use your why as strength to help make sure that you're successful on your journey to better health. Okay, the Army soldiers. It reminds me of having a support group or an army behind me, inside myself, that I can reach for or turn to when I need that extra support, especially when I'm new at this and even when I'm not. And it's also a reminder of the reason I want to live this way. Uh, the reason I believe it will help me achieve the goal that I am setting for myself. So I'm going to share the process again. And this time I'm going to use my own personal journey as an example to show you how it works. I'm being vulnerable and sharing something so personal with you, but I'm hoping to make it much more clear for you and help you be successful if you decide to do this. Okay, The image that you see is going to be available for you if you'd like to download a copy of it. You can go download it for free, and you go to bit.ly/find your why today. And Dr. Shobha will have it in the show notes as well. Or you can get a piece of paper and create a ladder image or any other image that you'll be able to write your thoughts on each step or each place as I climb the ladder, or whatever you decide you want to use. So you can use any type of object that resonates with you. I'm using the ladder. You can use a mountain or whatever. So now, starting at the bottom of the ladder, you will want to ask yourself what I asked myself, and that is, why is this decision important to me? And I originally said my why was to help others. Whoops, I went too fast. There we go. To help others. That was my original why. Okay, why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? To help others. Now, I did this with my husband's help, and you can decide if you want to include someone to help you through it or not. I liked having him there because I could bounce back and make sure that I understand the progress. So I really didn't understand the whole why thing. And he would then kept asking me to ask myself why. So here I'm accomplished. I've got an answer to help others. He says, why? Why is helping others important to me? For me, my answer did not come quickly. It took time, and it can take time for you. And I finally had my answer. Whoops. And it was to let people know there's another way, that they don't need to suffer. And then again, my husband asked me, but why? So I asked myself, why is it important to let people know there's another way, that they don't need to suffer? Because I've been lied to by society about the impact of food and my health. I was sharing my answers aloud to my husband and then writing them down. Then I heard him again ask me, why? Why is this important to me? And after I thought about this, I was able to share that answer that was most important to me. Let's see. Oops, hold on. What's happening here? Oh no, is it not going?
So we have, yeah, so we have the second and third one, Jennifer. Okay,
Okay,
there we go. Yeah.
okay. Okay, so it led me to my next answer, which was, knowing the truth could have changed my life. Did you hear that? Knowing the truth could have changed my life. My life. But that still wasn't enough. And again, I went to ask myself, but why? And my final answer, let's see if I can click this. My final answer was, because it could have provided a better quality of life for me. It was emotional. It was, I was remembering the struggle and realizing the answer that changed my life. And I finally knew my personal emotional connection, or why, as you might say. It was, whoops, I'm sorry, I don't know why this is doing that. But it was for better quality of life. That was my answer. It could have provided a better quality of life for me. And each time I wrote down an answer, I thought I had reached my final answer, until I felt that emotional connection. And for me, I did begin to cry. It gave me goosebumps because it was a real connection. It was a real reason. So let's recap the answers so that you can hear them again and see how they evolve to help me reach the real why that I was looking for. Let me see if I can get this slide now to work again. Oops. Oh. I'm not sure why this is happening, but we'll just go through the bottom. So I started with to help others. There it is. And that became to let people know that there's another way, that they don't need to suffer. And that became because I've been lied to by society about the impact of food and my health. And that became because the truth could have had a large impact on my health and my happiness, which I didn't mention earlier because I was having trouble with the slides. But at the same time, that was a step. And then that one turned into knowing the truth could have changed my life. And at the end, what I discovered was that my real why, my emotional connection, was because it could have provided a better quality of life. That's why. So looking back at these answers, you can see how at first it was about others. My initial reason was I was going to help others so others wouldn't suffer. And then slowly, as it started becoming more clear to me, I realized looking back at the answers to my question of why, it did transform into it being about me. And once I reached the ultimate reason, I could feel the power and the strength in my why, my real emotional connection, my drive. And it was strong, reaching a deep place within my core. It was about getting back. Yes.
So let me ask you this, Jennifer. Why does having a better quality of life matters to you?
For me, it was everything because at that time, I couldn't do anything. I lost my quality of life. I gained almost 40 pounds, just like 37 pounds. I couldn't get on the floor and play with my grandchildren. I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't dress myself. I lost the quality of life. And so for me, finding and realizing that after I wasn't in that spot anymore helps me on my journey. Now that's my reason. Somebody else is going to have a different reason. Everyone should have their own reason. The point is you want to connect it deep inside of you, wherever that resonates, whatever that real true reason is, that gives you that strength that will help you when times are tough or when people ask you certain questions and you're hungry or you're wanting to be engaged with people because they look like they're having a good time at the pizza party, right? But
Mhm.
it's about the people, and you can still engage, but sometimes we need to understand what that means to us. So it was about getting back my quality of life, and that getting back my quality of life for me is also much more grounding in the deep emotional connection that will motivate me and can motivate others to keep going no matter what your obstacles are, your challenges, or your influences that could pop up. So now let's see if this is going to work. There we go. Okay, now this woman is facing the sky. She is reaching her arms out. And I feel like now I'm in that space because I feel like knowing my why gives me the confidence to say no to the foods or the choices that no longer serve me. Instead, I can be curious about new things, have fun with what my emotional connection is, and proudly stand by my why, my emotional connection, when others or situations may challenge me, or when I might consider a choice that might derail me if I'm in a weak moment. I know I can do this. You can do this. This can be done. It really can. So here's my biggest piece of advice to get clear on your why. Okay, it's your why. It's your emotional connection. It's not for anyone else. It's not about anyone else. It's just about you. It's also not about having the right answer. either. It's about having your answer and being grounded in it. And that clarity will help carry you forward when things get tough or when motivation dips. You know, let your reason be your anchor. You,
That, yeah, that is so true, Jennifer. I mean, as you mentioned, like everyone has a different why. So I just wanted to briefly share. So even when it came to us, like our son, he had a different why of why he wanted to do or why he wanted to eat this way. I had a different why. My husband had a different why. And like, yeah, sometimes people may think that all of us may just have the same why. So like our son, like he was 8 years old, and at that during that time, like we transitioned to plant-based eating. So earlier, I know, like we were eating everything under the sun, like meat, chicken, egg, fish. Actually, like chicken biryanis. So they were our favorite food. And once once we decided to transition, so we were wondering like how we can have our son. So it's not that like we wanted to force him. One day, like we were just sitting and watching the documentary Earthlings, and we were just 5 minutes into that documentary, and he started crying. So he was like, is this what they're doing for to bring the food on our table? If this is the case, I don't want to be part of it. So
yeah,
I was like, he's 8. I know he'll fall under peer pressure. He loves his chicken nuggets. Like he loves his
right?
McDonald's so chicken. So I was like, he will definitely fall under peer pressure, and he's not going to stick. But I was surprised to see, because that was his why. So like I know, like kids, they are so compassionate about animals, they're so
Yeah,
compassionate about the planet, and they just want uh, they care for their planet and animals. So it was really interesting to see that, like he, no matter, like even if their friends were eating steak or chicken nuggets in front of him, he was not tempted. And
yeah,
it was really fascinating to see, because and then I could see that that was his clear why. Because if I had told him like you have to do this so that you don't experience any chronic diseases or pain, he would have cared less about it.
yeah.
But this was about, like, he didn't want any animals to suffer, or like it was his compassionate nature that, like, he wanted to lead it like that. So it's not that he was not tempted by this foods, but it's really amazing to see, like, as you said, like your why. I mean, that has to be personal to you. So Nan is saying, fun new presentation, Jennifer, well done, and awesome share.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? That's amazing about your son. And you're right. It has to be about the individual.
Mhm.
So, like you said, if you told him this is important for your health, meh, that's not a connection for him. There's no emotional connection for him. When you said he was crying, he saw the movie, he questioned, is this really what's happening? It carries you through. And so that's why it's so important to understand what that means, your why. That's why I for the longest time I couldn't understand it, because I didn't really know how to take the steps to figure it out. And that's what I'm hoping to share. And I can continue on if you're okay.
Sure, sure, yes.
Yeah, so you might figure your why out sooner, or maybe you'll need to continue up your ladder more than I did. Just keep asking yourself why. Whatever it takes, eventually you will find your reason, your true reason, and it can change everything. It really can. And keep uncovering layers by layer until you can't go any deeper. Because I believe you'll know when you've reached the answer if you pay attention to your emotional connection, just like Dr. Shobha just shared how her son, and it stuck with him, how he knew. Now, when you're ready to do this, maybe find a quiet, comfortable spot somewhere without distractions or interruptions. You can begin by asking, why is this important to me? And write the answer. And then again, ask for that answer and keep going for as long as you like. Just be open to the process and the idea of exploring your emotional self. So let's talk for a minute about, okay, what to do once you've identified your why. All right? So now you know your why. It's that deep emotional connection that will motivate you through anything that might try to stop you or veer you off course. So now what? Now what? Well, write down your emotional connection that brings you to tears or causes you to have goosebumps, or you find your heart beating elevated. Write it down, your finished why. There should be an emotional response that lets you know that you have found your emotional connection, your true why. So you don't want to let it live in your head. It's been inside you this whole time and you didn't even realize it. So write it down and see it and read it and really digest what you have discovered. And you can do things like keep it with you if you want, or write it on a sticky note and put it on your refrigerator, or post it on your bathroom mirror, or you can keep it in your wallet. Read it to yourself when you first wake up and before you go to bed. You can say it out loud when you feel challenged. Imagine yourself in a challenging situation and act out how you might respond in advance of this actually happening. So imagine responding to people when they ask, aren't you going to eat anything here? Or do you want to go to, I don't know, whatever restaurant, pizza place, or whatever that you maybe used to do together? See, it might feel uncomfortable at first, but when those situations actually come up, you'll be confident in going into them because you've already prepared yourself, right? So it's your emotional connection. It's your truth. Let it live with you, not just inside you. Okay. You have the tug of war because there will most likely be challenging times that won't always be easy. Now, some challenging times for me were when I was tried really hard to succeed in getting off my thyroid medication and it didn't happen as quickly as I wanted to. Or I was hungry and I was tired and I felt like I had failed myself, right? These are things that can come up for you too. Another time was really tough for me was when my father passed away. And this was a very complicated relationship. So there was so much more I needed to deal with besides his death. So maybe some of your challenging times might be watching your family or friends enjoying the foods that you no longer eat while at a wedding, or your child or your grandchild's sports game or party. It doesn't always have to be a stressful negative, a barbecue in the neighborhood, like whatever it is. Just please remember to be kind to yourself. And with this exercise, to explore your why, you will also be very well prepared. Also know that your why might evolve over time, depending on what it is. So it may or may not change dramatically or even at all, but pay attention to it. Check on it every whenever. Does it still have the same motivation or emotional strength that it did when you started? Does it still make you cry? Because if not, then you might need to revisit it. Go through the process again. It's okay if it shifts over time. I believe it just means that you're growing. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my experience finding my why in hopes that it will help you discover or understand your why as well. And if you would like to reach out to me for any type of coaching or just to engage with me on my Tuesday Live on YouTube, or if you even just want to send me a personal message through my website, then here are some ways that you can reach me. And I just want to say thank you, all of you, for allowing me to share this personal discovery. And I hope that it helps you the way that it helped me. And so, if it's okay, I can stop screen share.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. There we go.
Yes, there we go. That was a wonderful presentation, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing your story, for sharing the process, and this is so helpful. So, as you said, like keep asking why. Why is this important? And that brings new answer. And like when you keep asking why, so that's a beautiful process, like where you can really find your why.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. The word why originally it didn't resonate with me because I didn't understand it. That's why for me once I realized it I'm like, "Oh, it's an emotional connection to myself. I get it."
Mhm.
So, what if it doesn't resonate, like just look for ways to discover, and you might be surprised at what you learn about yourself, and then you have this powerful force to help you through anything.
And sometimes like what we might realize is, I know like now we might think that we are at a stage where we are used to eating whole food plant-based food. I mean it almost has become a habit. We cannot think of like going back or like eating other way because we no longer might enjoy those foods. I know earlier those might have been our favorite foods. Earlier, especially like since I come from the Indian background, like using oil, so everything has to be floating in oil. So giving up oil was a huge thing. I mean, like it just felt that it's never going to happen because for us, cooking start with the first step of putting the oil itself. But now like when like even we go for deep fried foods or anything that just churns the stomach. I mean like now that we are so used to eating foods without oil, so like when we are doing SOS free, so it's really amazing to see. So like
Yes, I can't imagine what it must have been like with maybe extended family you're with, and you're saying, "No, no, no, don't do oil," right? And they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm just, making this up in my head, trying to visualize that,
yes,
and it can be done. It can be done because you
yeah,
knew your reason. You understood the reason that you were doing it, and you were confident in it. So.
yes.
Yeah. Are there any questions or anything that was in the when my presentation was up? I could not see the chat, so I don't know.
Yes. So we had lovely comments. So Connie is saying, "I love all your food display. Thanks for sharing." And she also asked her question. I'm still occasionally struggling with high blood pressure after being on whole food plant based for 6 years. Any suggestions?
So for me, that's a medical question that I am not qualified to answer. But I would say that if you're struggling with it, maybe consult your doctor for sure because they know you. And then you could even go to Chronometer, which is an online free program, and you can put in all your food and make sure that you're realizing what you're eating. And then you could say, "Oh, you know what? When I walked by the kitchen, I didn't realize that I was eating all those nuts." I'm making this up, right? Or whatever. You might find something that you could tweak, but I would definitely make sure that it's safe for you, and talk to a qualified professional that knows you personally. Would you add anything to that, Dr. Shoba?
I know you hit the nail on the head. So when it comes to blood pressure, it's multifactorial. There's so many things. So it's not only the diet, but the stress, our level of activity. So there are so many things affecting, and also depending upon the day, like our blood pressure fluctuates. So, and Connie is our rock star. I know she has been on this plant-based journey. So she is a poster child for a plant-based eating. So it's really amazing. I mean, she has come far along, like in terms of she has been able to reverse her pre-diabetes. Arthritis, osteoarthritis. So, like
Wow.
all the different conditions that she was suffering with, I mean, she was able to come off of them, come off of her medications. And I know, like, her blood pressure is sometimes it's. Um, like frustrating her
Mhm.
especially, and also when she's traveling she finds like her blood pressure is going up. So that's why, as I said, like it's multifactorial. It's not one thing. So like one thing is being just like you were giving your example, Jennifer. I know, like, you wanted to be off of your thyroid medications the more, but sometimes like giving that time, giving because the more we try to forcefully try to do it, sometimes it just backfires. Like letting having its own course also like helps.
Yes, yes. And I would say that's amazing, Connie, that you have come this far, and it sounds wonderful. Appreciate sharing about all the accomplishments that you've done, and good for you. And, with the thyroid, I mean, that you brought up my situation, you know, I'm still on it. And, but like you said, I have to be patient. I've been trying for about a year and a half, and I have made some progress, but it's not where I want to be, right? And so sometimes when I try something that I heard or was suggested to do, and I try and I do this and I'm very regimented about it, and then I have the blood test and it didn't show what I want, that's a perfect time for me to, whoa, poor me, I better go to the cabinet, or not even think about it and just do the old behavior of feeding the emotion with the food that's going to give me that dopamine hit. Well, no, Jennifer, you you just have to be more patient, and maybe that didn't work for you, maybe because it worked for them. Try something else. Continue to search. But you know that's why we can then talk to ourselves about, okay, I got to stop a minute. Why am I doing this in the first place? And look at the accomplishments that you have done, because I'm not off of it, but I've lowered the dose and I've lowered the amount of days per week. And that is huge. And also remember, this stuff didn't happen overnight, especially if you're older and you've been eating or doing things or on a medication for many, many, many years. You change for 2 weeks. Some things might change right away, but maybe some things need more time. Would you agree?
Absolutely. That's so well said, Jennifer. Yes. So Connie is saying thank you. Jill is saying thank you so much for your presentation. It was very helpful. And Annette is thank you. My yoga class starts, so she's
Oh,
her yoga class. So that's amazing. Okay, so these are all wonderful things.
good.
Yeah. So far, that's what I have
Okay.
for the questions, Jennifer. Yeah, everybody is thanking you for wonderful presentation. So it was really amazing. Like, thank you for sharing your time with us,
Oh,
and thank you for inspiring and motivating us in terms of thinking of our why. And as you said, like, it's so important because I see that this why is the first wings that actually helps us to make the transition. And as you said, this is what helps keeps us going when the going gets tough. And we definitely will have challenges. So this was so helpful, so inspiring, and it's so
yes.
like how we can come up with our why. So thank you so much, Jennifer.
Yes, thank you again, Dr. Shobha, and everybody here, all you beautiful people. I really appreciate it. And I always like to say, don't forget to eat your greens, everyone, and give plants a chance. It never will fail you. So I love the opportunity. I'm so grateful for the comments and for everyone. And, even just like what you said, when you start on a path, it's good to know your why, but then you can also get too comfortable. And so it's good to check in with yourself too. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So we have shared the links, the website channels, and everything, so people know where to grab you. So that's amazing, and thank you so much.